Good morning. Shit. Hey everybody, I have returned. I got tired last night, and I rolled around in bed for about 5 hours and still couldn't sleep. But I'm back with you tonight to record and finish this podcast. I'm not going to try to pretend that I finished this in last night. I'm just going to, wow. I'm tongue-tied right now. Jesus Christ. What's wrong with me? Do some fucking tongue twisters? Jesus. Anyway, I'm back. I'm here to finish the podcast or radio show. Is a podcast internet radio? Or is it not radio? Because it does not involve radio waves. Who the fuck knows? I'm well rested. I slept for about 80 hours. And you know what? I was worse yesterday than the day before. But now I feel all my symptoms are gone. I don't feel sick at all anymore. So now that I've gotten the object out of the way, talking about W.C. Fields and some of the old school comedians and the authentic mint condition playing card deck from 1972, and I've also gotten out of the way my feelings on what I said a couple weeks ago. I'm gonna, because I came yesterday, I started it freeballing it, you know. I pride myself on being a good winger. I'm good at winging it. I'm good at just riffing, you know. And I had nothing written down. And now I have prepared a subject, and I'm gonna riff on it. But the only thing prepared for today, really, is that I have prepared a subject. That's about it, you know. And it's not catch wrestling, but it is similar. So if you have zero interest in martial arts or the history of Western martial arts, don't listen to this. Or perhaps skip to the end. Or maybe not. I don't know. I don't know what I'll end up talking about at the very end. But for the next 5, 10, 20 minutes, I'm going to talk about boxe française and Savate. Savate, spelled just like karate, actually. Except without the K, it's an S. So it looks like Savate. It's kind of strange. Because when I first started learning about martial arts, I often saw in lists Savate all over the place as martial arts. And I never saw catch wrestling. But yet I do believe there might be, I might be wrong, might be, at least in the United States, more places to learn catch wrestling than Savate. It's a really hard thing to learn. But I'm going to give you a summary on my martial arts life. When I was a kid, I was a very aggressive child. I liked boxing, and I played football, tackle ball, and I thought football was retarded. I still think it's kind of retarded, even though I don't miss a New England Patriots or Oakland Raiders game. I like them. I do enjoy a good college football bowl game. But I think a lot of the game is rigged. A lot of it, you know. And I think it was probably a bit of more of an interesting game, and it was more like rugby way back in the day. I'm getting way the fuck off topic. But I wanted to channel my aggression, and I wanted to learn how to box. And my dad, growing up, always thought boxing was savage, because that's the way he grew up. His father told him boxing was savage. But, of course, football isn't, right? Right? Now that we know how horrible it is on the brain, and the outcome is remarkably similar. Except in boxing, you can control your career and avoid crazy contracts, and you can fucking defend yourself, bobbing and weaving. You can't defend yourself in football. When you're down, they dive headfirst into your head all the time. Especially if you're a white wide receiver. Oh man, they will dive right on you and try to kill you. What a dangerous sport. I wanted to learn boxing, and my dad would never let me. So I didn't learn how to fight at all. And I had very little knowledge of wrestling. And I just sort of emulated what I saw, and I was very strong for my age and big, because I ate well, and all I did at school was I ran around and I climbed things and played basketball, but the strength I had was from climbing. I climbed all the time, swinging from the monkey bars, and then in football, we did all the push-ups. And then after school, my mom would drop me off at the YMCA, and I would just fucking swim till the day was out. And as I said, I like to get in little scraps, and I grew up in a nice middle class suburb where, no tolerance policy to fighting. Not fighting. It's what young boys are supposed to do. You watch young cats, they wrestle, and you look at dogs, they wrestle. That's what it is. That's what young boys are supposed to do, roughhouse. And why do you think I was so fucked up? I wasn't allowed to roughhouse. And my brother doesn't like to roughhouse. He's an intellectual, He likes writing and things like that. He doesn't have interest in wrestling and, nonsense like that. So I was left getting in trouble all the time. And the reason I was I believed boxing was a martial art way before the UFC. Same thing with wrestling, I believe. And I thought karate and stuff was bullshit way back in the day. Because I would there were, Asian kids and, other white kids that were like almost black belts in Taekwondo or whatever by the time we were 10 years old. And I would just grab them, and I didn't know how to wrestle, but I was strong, and I would just grab them and throw them or just, sock them. And I'm like, wow, that karate didn't do dick, Shit doesn't work. So I didn't want to do karate. I wanted to box. And I wanted to learn how to fence, because I always loved Robin Hood and Zorro. But I didn't take any formal training in martial arts until I was 17, 5-6 years ago. 4 years? Fuck, how old am I? Never mind. I was a junior in high school, first semester. Actually, I became interested in the martial arts, finally. I kind of found interest in it, and I found interest in judo, and I couldn't find a school because I wasn't internet savvy, and my Korean buddy told me to take Hapkido, which has a lot of judo in it, and he said it's basically like judo, throwing people around. I'm like, fuck, I want to do that. I found a fucking school. And my mom, for my 17th birthday in the fall of 2009 or whatever, she signed me up. And I learned the basics of punching, and I learned how stupid I was at fighting. I learned, it's the first time I actually learned the hammer lock, you know, reverse double wrist lock. In Hapkido, you know, from the judo lineage. I learned out the basics, how to throw a jab, throw a hook. The footwork was awful, the blocking was bullshit. It still used like karate type, type blocks. But I learned how to do a hip throw that I later learned in wrestling, you know. And that was cool. And then the next year, I had never wrestled before. I wanted to. I would have started wrestling as a freshman. But the high school I was going to had no wrestling team. Now it does, ironically. The minute I left, they got a team. But I transferred as a senior. This is kind of a no-no. I joined the wrestling team as a senior. You know, wrestling is heavily a skill sport. You know? And I came in and I was out of shape, and I was in okay shape because of karate, but they had no interest in giving me any extra time. But I got in shape and I really liked it, and it was one of the best experiences of my life. And I wish I had more time doing regular folk-style wrestling. So I did a year of Hapkido karate, and then 1 season of high school wrestling. And then 2 years later, I took like a month and a half of catch wrestling, and I was only doing it once a week, and like an idiot I stopped going. I highly regret that. But I've been training on and off for the last almost 2 years, just with friends and pretending a baseball bat is a fucking leg or arm. I'm not kidding. I'll put a heavy bag on me and I'll bridge it off, and all kinds of goofy, you know, manual solo training methods that I have. And of course, always do sit-out drills, and you know, if you have no partner, get to work, you know. Wow, I'm yakking here. But I don't remember when I started getting very interested in it, but I started boxing 2 years ago at a community college. Perfect. Everyone is black or Mexican, and we would just beat the shit out of each other, and it was fucking great. Actually, there's a video. I forgot about that. I filmed a video, one of my early videos, of 2 gentlemen beating the shit out of each other. Might want to check that one out. I'm on the sidelines watching like, damn, good for you guys. And then this Asian guy and this black guy was cool. I wish we seemed to be hitting it off. We could have become friends. We just kind of, I don't know, I switched schools, and it's a shame. Cool guy. We exchanged some techniques and stuff from other martial arts. I should try to find that guy again. And I think I'll return to the boxing gym. I bet I'll find him there. He was a dedicated student to the art. I'll probably find him again. But, anyway, a year of boxing, a year of karate, 1 season of high school wrestling, a month and a half of catch wrestling training. It was like 6 lessons or something. But they were 2-hour classes. I got a lot out of it, man. Oh my god, I'm yakking. I apologize, guys. I'm not on the money today. I'm gonna try to get onto the catch wrestling. No, Savate. Jesus Christ. End of segment. Savate. We are now talking about Savate. Savate. Also known as, incorrectly, sort of, as Buck's friend says, or vice versa, is native martial arts of France. And the kicking that I've been learning from DVDs and such is almost the same as what I learned in Hapkido. Remarkable. So amazing. to see the techniques that in my study of catch wrestling and Savate and doing some karate and watching some Brazilian jiu-jitsu and judo and the jiu-jitsu inspired arts, it's so funny to see that people will find out what works. You know? People across the continents, it's just moves. You know? It's great. There's a lot of in the beginning, there's a lot of some speculation of how Savate came about, and Eastern martial arts purists would like to insist that French sailors learned it while traveling in the East. I'm not sure how much weight that holds, you know. I'm pretty sure that I believe the people that say that it evolved on the streets of Marseille. Wow, what a douche. That rhymes. There was street fighting styles known as Savate in Paris, and then in the south, in the port of Marseille, you know, guys like to fight. They like to beat the shit out of each other, you know. And they outlawed the use of the clenched fist. And they're like, fuck, but we still want to get drunk and fuck each other up, you know. So they use their open hands and their feet and elbows and knees, which made it much fucking worse, actually. Way more devastating, you know. And thus Savate was born. And it is also believed that it's possible that some ancient martial arts like Greek pancration possibly could have gone all over the world, and that's how it got to France. Who the fuck knows, you know? Let me tell you something. If any fucking European nation is gonna get in a fight with you and kick you in the face, it's the French, right? Let's be honest here. You want to fight me? Kick you in the face. You're like, what the fuck? You know? So, Savate became popular, and in the 1800s, a Savateur, isn't that fucking cool? That's one of the benefits of being a Savate practitioner. You are called a Savateur. What the fuck? No one messed with that guy, right? A Savateur, oh shit, I forget his name. Oh yeah, is it Michael Cassel or Charles? Yes. A Savateur started, he had a friendly match with a English boxer. You know. And the boxer was able to get on the inside and, you know, get jabs in and other things. And the Savate guy was impressed, and he wanted to bring back the hand techniques. And he combined the foot fighting with the punches, thus kickboxing. And he called it boxe française. Boxe anglaise, boxe française. They call Muay Thai boxe Thai. And I have a lot of pictures of it. And it was very popular in gymnasiums. There's such cool old pictures of a lot of the techniques you see in Ultimate Fighting now, the spinning heel kicks, spinning back kicks, and you see old French dudes with mustaches and goofy pants and big pointy shoes throwing spinning heel kicks. It's great, man, to see the martial arts. So diverse. So, Savate and boxe française aren't exactly the same thing. Like, just like old pugilism was a very diverse, striking art, unlike today's boxing. The old pugilist boxing was, there were punches and forearm strikes and elbows and knees and headbutts and throws and things of that nature. A lot of punching in the clinch. Punching in the clinch is an art. And we sort of saw that being brought back by Randy Couture and those guys in Ultimate Fighting, which is so cool. Which is why I love Randy Couture, man. Later in his career, he went full catch wrestling. He forgot everything he knew about jiu-jitsu and realized it was hurting his wrestling ground game. And he brought back the old clinch fighting and boxing way back when he fought Vitor Belfort. He just tied up Vitor. Vitor didn't really even know Muay Thai. That's why he didn't fare well. He just tied his ass up and just boxed him up in the Thai, which is, I'm learning that, and it's so fucking cool. Tie the bitch up, wrap him up, eat him for dinner. So he was he could have gone to fucking old England and fit in, man. Catch wrestling, dirty boxing, pugilism, baby. And in that same regard, Savate was a very diverse striking system, given it had a lack of punching that was later added in. So the real martial arts Savate, like the self-defense Savate, has more in common with like maybe Sistema or maybe Russian Sistema or Krav Maga from Israel than just kickboxing. And it's still practiced, which is really cool. Street style. And also there was a lot of weapons involved, you know, like the old baritsu or something, you know, short stick especially, fencing, the knife, that kind of stuff, which is all really cool, and a lot of very functional martial arts, because that's what we want, you know. If we find some stuff that has novel value but doesn't really have value, it's just novelty, you know. Like I'm not sure how much, you know, broadsword. I mean, fencing if you do other martial arts, fencing has a lot of value, and of course, if you live where sword canes are legal, that's a great weapon to carry. Here where I live, a sword cane, that's like a 10-year prison sentence, right? For wanting to defend yourself. Oh, what a great fucking country we live in. But yeah. To learn both the styles is great. The sport Savate, where you mix punches and kicks and rapid succession and a lot of footwork and really sharp boxing and nasty kicks. And the way they mix them up is incredible. A good fight you should all watch after this is, look up Francois Panaccio versus Ramon Dekkers. Ramon Dekkers is a legendary Dutch kickboxer. Muay Thai, karate, boxing stylist. He went to Thailand and beat the shit out of everyone. And, he fought Savate guy, Francois Panaccio. You know, he really got boxed up, and the footwork and the technical mastery by Panaccio was evident, and he won the decision, which is, it's a very cool fight to watch. And Francois Panaccio, after winning the Savate amateur title, went on to be a regular kickboxer, one of the few to do so, because there's not a lot of Savate guys. Savate is very similar to catch wrestling in that regard, that it's not a highly practiced martial art. People say, why don't you see a lot of catch wrestlers competing in the there's not a lot of them, you know. And it's hard to get really talented athletes or people that have the time to train full-time. How many catch wrestlers can train full-time? Josh Barnett, because he's probably a multi-millionaire. You know, he can fucking train all the time. And he's already a fucking master, you know. Panaccio is one of the great Savateurs that went and beat a lot of the Thai boxers and just showed how flat-footed they were and how a lot of their boxing wasn't sharp. Yeah. I think that's all I have to fucking say. I am tripping today, man. I apologize. I'm stuttering like a fucking Barack Obama on fucking Quaaludes. I apologize. Well, I hope this was informative and you haven't shot yourself yet. Thanks for listening. Wreck yourself before you check yourself. Or is it the other way around? Fuck. I don't know. I've been free balling all day, baby. I don't even know what you're talking about. I think I'm gonna check my mail. I always get hateful messages. Fuck you! Drown in a lake of cum!
Like a new skin.
What the fuck?
Keep your game on point.
I could give a fuck about your bullshit. I am so tired of this shit. Anyway. There's some Beethoven to say goodbye, gentlemen. Oh yeah. If you don't listen to classical music, you're crazy, man. Good night, everybody.